Hello YouTube, my name is Corey Vidal, and this being the month of May in the year 2010, YouTube is asking everybody to share their YouTube story, my YouTube story, your YouTube story, and see what inspired people to be on YouTube and do what they do. A lot of people posted their videos a few weeks ago, so I'm kind of late to the game. But their videos actually, some of the ones that I saw, inspired me to make mine, because I've never actually really told anybody my YouTube story before, and it's something that's kind of personal and not really something that I felt fit the YouTube mold. Anyways, in case you can't tell already, this video is going to be long. If you're not interested in sitting here watching me tell a story, you might as well click the dislike button and just kind of close out and go watch something entertaining. But yeah, I'm going to share with you, for those of you who are actually going to kind of stick with me through this story, how I started and everything that's happened between then and now. I've been on YouTube. Out of the 5 years YouTube's been around, I've actually been on YouTube almost 4 years. So let's go back, and I will tell you a tale of a young boy named Corey who was in high school, living in a small country town out in southern Ontario, Canada, somewhere halfway between Niagara Falls and Toronto. And I was definitely an awkward, nerdy, kind of antisocial. I wasn't quiet because I have ADHD, which makes me loud and hyper. But at the same time, I was really into computers. I was really into Star Wars. I was a nerd, and I wasn't very popular in high school. And I spent all of my time fooling around on computers, and in doing so, I learned various things in Photoshop and Adobe Premiere, which is what I use to edit videos. And I started shooting videos with my friends. And so in grade 12, I got a bunch of friends with me, and I was like, hey, let's do something for grade 12 that's going to be really, really awesome. That's going to like change high school, like all of our memories of kind of being losers in high school. And we made this video called Ring Wars Reloaded, and it was a combination of Star Wars, The Matrix, and Lord of the Rings. I'll put a link in the description. But it was going to be this small video, this little 5-minute video of me and my friends, and we wanted to do lightsaber effects, which we thought were really cool. And this 5-minute video turned into a 10-minute video, 20, 30, 40. I think the final version runs at about 45 minutes. And it was only supposed to take a few days to film, and we ended up working on this video for about 10 months. And while doing this and getting involved with the school and getting involved with friends and everybody seeing what we were doing, I really enjoyed the process of making videos. And I really kind of got a love for video making, and we played it and released it, and we sold a bunch of DVDs, and everybody really liked it, and it was a really, really cool experience. And finally I felt like I could be myself and actually have people like me, which was new to me. I'm not telling you the first 17 years of my life, but that was something that was really new and really cool. Out of high school, I actually started a video company with my father. Him and I kind of went into business together, and he kind of invested a bunch of his personally saved money into us starting a video business. And we bought a bunch of HD cameras and tripods and lights, and we founded this company that would shoot weddings and television commercials and music videos and all of this stuff. That company is called Aexian Studios, and it's still in operation today. I'll put a link in the description if you want to check it out. But basically, my father wanted me to be able to pursue video, and I was very fortunate enough to have a dad that would let me do that. So in my spare time, when I wasn't working on videos for the company, I started shooting YouTube videos. And I have a background in dance. When I was younger, I took hip-hop and jazz, Latin American and ballroom, and a little bit of ballet, believe it or not. And so I was fooling around with the cameras, and I went downstairs, my parents' basement, and I shot a video of me dancing. And I was kind of I wanted to test out the cameras, I wanted to check the quality of stuff, and so I was fooling around with it, and my friend online was like, hey, send me the video, I want to see the quality of these cameras. And I'm like, well, I don't really know how to send you this video, the file's really big, blah, blah, blah. And so he goes, well, you should upload it to YouTube. And I had heard of YouTube before, I had surfed there. This is like mid-2006. So I already had a YouTube account, so I logged in and I uploaded this video. And I never expected anybody to see anything. It wasn't for the public, it wasn't for YouTube. My username on YouTube isn't Corey Vidal, it's actually Apprentice A. And Apprentice A is short for Apprentice Anakin, because I was a big Star Wars fan, and Apprentice Anakin was it was my email. My old email was apprenticeanakin@hotmail.com. It doesn't work anymore, so don't email anybody there. But, so yeah, my username is still to this day Apprentice A, and I can't change it. But youtube.com/Corey Vidal actually forwards you to Apprentice A. Anyways, sorry, we're getting off track. So I sent him this video, and he was my first view. And I went to bed, and that was that. So I would wake up in the morning, and I check my email, and I had, like, probably a good 50 emails. It's like, you have a new comment, you have a new comment, you have a new comment, you have a new subscriber. So I look, and the video had been seen 500 times. And it rocked my world. It blew my mind. I couldn't believe that many people had seen it overnight. And the reason now, when I look back, the reason it was seen so much is because it was a dance to a song from So You Think You Can Dance, the song Sexy Love by Neo. So when I uploaded it, I put that in the title and the description, and so people were searching for that, and there was no So You Think You Can Dance videos on YouTube. They were all pulled down, and because they were pulled down, I was the only result, and because I was the only result, it was getting views. So people were leaving comments like, oh, you're good, oh, you suck, oh, you're good, make more, go kill yourself. So I decided, well, hey, that was something that I wasn't even thinking of, was making, YouTube videos. So I was like, oh, I'll make some more. People want me to make some more. Now, I think it's worth noting that at this point, I had already quit dancing. I hadn't been dancing in quite a few years. And so I was like, oh, I'll film some other dances that I remember doing. So I went and I recorded a few other dances, and then I put it up, and then people were like, oh, I wish I could dance. Oh, you should teach me how to dance, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, well, wouldn't it be cool if I recorded this how to dance video, and I put it online for free? I'm not going to charge anybody for anything. I'm not going to give you half of a video and ask for money. I'm just going to throw it up online, and maybe people will like that. So I did, and I put up how to dance the 1-2 step. And it was really, really well received. I mean, now I look back at it and it's embarrassing and I absolutely hate it. But now it has today, flashing forward just for a second, it has 4 million views at the time of me recording this. And if you go to YouTube and type in how to dance, I have 2 or 3 videos just on the first page of results. But let's go back. So then I uploaded Ring Wars Reloaded, the fan Star Wars video that I made with my friends to YouTube, and it was well received. But then I felt like I was running out of dance because I had already quit dancing years before, and I was only really doing kind of half-assed, I don't think I'm a very good dancer. I don't. And some people agree. Lots of people agree. And then some people disagree, but I didn't want to keep pursuing dance and keep pursuing something that I wasn't crazy about. And it just so happened that this was in the summer. When Christmas rolled around, I got a guitar for Christmas. And so I learned some basic chords, and 2 days later, I recorded a song, the Snow Patrol song, Waste Time Chasing Cars. Not the YouTuber, the actual song. If I just lay here. Anyways, there'll be a link to that in the description too. I recorded that song 2 days after getting my first guitar ever. And I put it up online, and I was like, nobody's going to like this. Nobody's going to want to see me do anything other than dance. But I put it up online, and it was well received too. And I was like, hey, maybe I can do other stuff on YouTube, and people will actually like it. So I started doing songs, and I did a few crappy little skits with friends, and I kind of started doing this YouTube thing and getting into being a YouTuber. it was really exciting. And, I had, a few hundred subscribers, and then I had 1,000 subscribers. It was really exciting. And my total video views were slowly climbing. And I remember in the springtime, early 2007, hitting 1 million total views across my 20 however many videos. And that being a huge milestone. I was like, wow, 1 million people have seen my videos. This is really cool. Now I'm telling you this story in order, so know that at this point I'm not a YouTube partner. Nobody's making any money. This isn't professional. I'm supposed to be working for my dad. I'm supposed to be doing Aexian Studios and shooting corporate videos and wedding videos and music videos. But YouTube was something that was really kind of slowly, we're looking at more than a year now, slowly starting to take off. And, I'm getting 1,000 views a day. 1,000 people are watching my videos every day. That's so nuts. And when I hit 1 million views, 2 different newspapers came to my house and interviewed me. And they were like, local YouTube guy, person, star thing, has 1 million views online. I was like, wow, like this is so new, and it's kind of like celebrity ship, but it's definitely not, because it's YouTube, and it's only 2007. Nobody respects YouTube. It's not anything that's really in the public conscience. People use it to watch skateboard videos and music videos. But yeah, so it went on from there, and nothing was really life changing up until I got an email from YouTube saying that I was invited to this VIP party in Toronto. I was like, well, that sounds weird and cool. So I go to this thing, and when I go, it's at this venue in Toronto, and there's YouTube logos and all kinds of stuff and a bunch of employees there, and there was a few hundred people there. They announced that YouTube Canada is launching. And if you're from the States, you might not know this, but YouTube localizes itself to all of the different countries in the world, or not all of them, but as many as they can. And for the YouTube Partnership Program, which I'll get into in a second, to work. Sorry, this video's feeling long. Stick with me. I promise that we're going to get somewhere. Basically, YouTube Canada launched, and by YouTube Canada launching, they would accept people to be YouTube partners in Canada. And I was pretty excited about that. So the day they launched, I got an email from them saying, hey, you have, I think I had 4,000 subscribers at the time. Do you want to be a YouTube partner? And I was like, absolutely, please. But you can only enable ads on videos where you're not infringing on copyrights, which isn't most of my videos. So just between you and me, and I'm probably not supposed to tell you this, but on my first month as a YouTube partner, I made $3, which was pretty cool. I think the second month I made like $7 or $8, but it was not very much money. And I remember being criticized. I remember people joking and laughing, being like, hey, 1 million people have seen your videos. You should get all of those people to send you $1. Or 1 million people have seen your videos. How much money have you made? And the answer was nothing. I hadn't made any money. But anyways, things were just kind of going along, and I was making videos here and there. And I feel like this is where the story that's worth telling really starts. So really, this video kind of starts now. In that there was an altercation, there was some problems with my family that are very personal, that I'm not going to get into the scope of in this video. But suffice it to say, or to summarize, I had to move out of my parents' house, like immediately. It was a combination, moving out and being kicked out. And when I left, I had nowhere to go, and I took with me my clothes, my computer, and my acoustic guitar. And I actually didn't have anywhere to go. And then I saw that this person that I had never met before, but kind of knew online, had a place to stay in the city of Hamilton. And he's like, you can crash on my couch. until you can figure some stuff out. And I had no money because with Aexian Studios, it had been around for 2 years now. My father had been kind of unable to pay me because he had spent so much money buying all of this equipment, and businesses take a lot of time to make money. And this is kind of where some of the problems with my family stemmed from, but like I said, I'm not going to get into it. But I was staying with this guy in Hamilton, and I had no money. I had $0. And I couldn't afford food. I couldn't afford anything. I didn't have a blanket or a pillow, you know. And it was pretty crappy, and I ended up making a YouTube video saying I've had some I shouldn't be. I kind of don't want to say this because most people don't know. Probably only a few hundred people know this, and I'm sure all of them forget. But this is July 2008. I made a YouTube video saying I'm having some rough times. I have no money. This is really pathetic. But if you've enjoyed my videos, if they meant anything to you, would you be able to send me some money through PayPal? Because I could really use it. And I went to bed, and when I woke up, I had a flood of emails, and I had been sent between probably 20 or 30 people. I had been sent like $200, $300. And it was crazy. I immediately privated the video. I was really embarrassed. I'm actually very embarrassed right now. But things were really tough, and sorry, I don't want to say too much, but let's continue forward. Then I heard, following this and being able to kind of survive, I heard announcements of this YouTube gathering coming to Toronto, August 8th, 2008, the Toronto YouTube gathering at the Ontario Science Centre. And I looked into it, and I was like, hey, maybe I can go to that. And up until this point, I didn't really know any YouTubers. I didn't, I was kind of doing my own thing. I wasn't subscribed to anybody. I was subscribed to Switchfoot and Google. And I wasn't really aware that other people did what I did. I wasn't involved in anybody. I didn't know anybody. But I contacted the Science Center, and they were like, hey, we actually know who you are. Would you like to kind of, what do you want to do? Get involved? And I was like, well, hey, let's do something. And we kind of went back and forth, and we decided to kind of put this show on at the Ontario Science Center with all of these different YouTubers. So they sent me a list of all of the big YouTubers who were coming, and I didn't know any of them. Dave Days was coming, Charles Trippy was coming, Shay Carl, and Katie's Opinion, and Olga K. It's Brent, Sexy Phil. I knew who Phil was, but I didn't know any of these YouTubers. And so I went and checked them out, and I was really impressed. I was like, wow, there's other people who do what I do. How cool is that? I can't wait to meet these people. So I started watching their videos, and I was like, I was really, really inspired, because I'm like, wow, their videos have millions of hits. This is nuts. So we start planning this event, and nobody knew this. But when I went to the Toronto gathering, the Toronto YouTube gathering, I actually had nowhere to live at the time. And my girlfriend had actually lent me money just to be able to stay in the hotel. But I didn't want anybody to know that, because if they looked at my channel, I was like, oh, Corey has, a few thousand subscribers. And I wanted to fit in. I wanted to fit in with these guys, not be on the outside looking in. And I was tired, I was eager, I was stressed, and I was desperate to be liked, desperate to fit in. And I went to the gathering, and looking back now, I knew pretty much instantly I kind of made an idiot of myself. I tried to act like I was really cool and really successful when I wasn't. A lot of people saw right through it. Phil went home and publicly called me a douchebag. Paul Tellner ended up pranking me and putting it in a video, which a bunch of people have actually seen. And I was humiliated, and I thought, well, I'm done with YouTube. Nobody's ever gonna watch my stuff again. Nobody likes me. I was kind of dramatic about it, but things were rough, you know. And I remember actually telling a bunch of people, like, I quit. Like, I went to this YouTube thing. I had nothing. I had no family. And I thought that I could fit into this community. And the one community that I thought I might fit in, video makers and nerds and computer people and people who stay on the computer as much as I do, I felt like nobody liked me. And there was, you know, I've been through depression my whole life. It wasn't caused by this. I've struggled with depression my whole life. And you know, you kind of keep going. After kind of getting over it and thinking, okay, maybe it's not that bad. Maybe everything is going to be all right. At least some of these people know who I am now, you know? Bad publicity is better than no publicity, I think they say. I don't know if it's true. But, you know, I met a bunch of really cool YouTubers, and you know what? Shay was really nice. Dave was really nice. Dave actually came to the apartment I was staying at. And I remember him buying me Quiznos for lunch, because I couldn't afford to eat. And you're a good guy, Dave. Dave Days, he's a good guy. And, you know, it felt like that was going to be my big opportunity, and then I felt like I blew it. But life goes on, and I had things didn't end up working out with that roommate. I had to stay somewhere else. I stayed somewhere else for a month, and I was homeless. I had no place to live for about 3 months. And then my friend James ended up lending me $1,000 to go and find a place and be able to kind of pay first and last month's rent, and then get a job. And then as soon as I was back on my feet, I'd be able to pay him back. And I moved here. I found this place. I live in Oakville. And this place, the rent here is like $400 a month. It's super cheap. And I have a roommate here. His name's Stuart. So I come here, but I still had no money. And I'm trying to get a job, but it's impossible to get a job because I kind of keep moving around. And I don't have a printer to print resumes on. Like, you know, I had to ask the library if I could print resumes for free because I couldn't afford the 10 cents to print stuff. And like taking a bus and stuff. When you have no money, it's impossible to get a job. And it's a cycle. You get stuck. I was stuck. I ended up getting a job eventually, fixing computers. I moved here into an empty white room with no blankets, no pillow, no food. And meanwhile, everybody on YouTube thinks I'm fine. Everybody thinks everything's fine, and I'm getting tens of thousands of hits, and everything's really good. And it was when things were at their worst. I didn't think life could get any worse. I hadn't talked to my family in 4 months, 5 months. After I had left, my dad had sent me an email saying, you probably shouldn't come around for a while. I was fighting with my girlfriend. It's self-destructive. Lots of problems. There's a lot of problems. I still loved YouTube, and I still loved the video site, and I ended up, October something, the middle of October, I took this webcam, and I went into the kitchen over there, and I recorded myself lip-syncing to a song called Star Wars, John Williams is the Man, by a group called Moose Butter. And I had called them on the phone and said, like, I've told this story quite a few times. I had their permission. They thought it was really cool because I had a lot of subscribers. I had 10,000 subscribers. I post this video of me lip-syncing this song, and I upload it to YouTube. And the first day, I get 30,000 hits. And the second day, I get 100,000 hits. And then the third day, StarWars.com features it on their front page. A few days later, YouTube Canada featured it on their front page. And suddenly, it was a waterfall. I have no words. I'm sorry, I have no words. But getting featured on YouTube was like winning the lottery. Right? And I got featured on YouTube Canada's homepage, so only Canadians saw it. But still, I was at like 500,000 views on this video, and it was completely unexpected, and my subscribers like doubled overnight. And then I remember distinctly one night, I'm in bed sleeping, and my friend Sama calls me at 1 a.m, and he lives in California, and he goes, "Get to a computer right now. YouTube just featured you on their worldwide homepage." So I run to the computer, and I check, and sure enough, I'm on YouTube's front page, and I look at the comments, and all of the comments are 1 second ago, 1 second ago, 1 second ago, 1 second ago, 2 seconds ago, 2 seconds ago, 2 seconds, and I read them all, and I hit refresh, and comments were coming faster than I could read them. It was nuts, and I call the Moose Butter guys, Mr. Tim, and I'm like, "We are featured on YouTube's front page." Holy crap. And I checked my email, and my email was just flooded. And the emails are from HBO, MTV, NBC, Universal, CBS. It was nuts. All of these different TV shows, interview requests, newspaper requests. I can't even describe what that flood was. It was unbelievable. It was life-changing in every sense of the word. It was, there's no words to describe it. So that was at the end of October, the beginning of November, and then at the end of that month, there was YouTube Live. Now, one problem with being a YouTube partner, not that it's a problem, because I had never made any money ever, is that the system is delayed by 60 days. It takes 30 days to calculate your earnings, and then another 30 days for them to pay you. And up the year and a half I had been a YouTuber, I had maybe made $100. Absolutely pathetic. But that month, I made more money than I had ever made my entire life up until that point. At the point of my life where I had no money, it was, in every sense of the word, a miracle. I firmly and totally believe that. And the payment was delayed by 2 months. So all of this money is coming in, and I don't get it for 60 days. So I'm featured on YouTube, and suddenly my video has like 3 million hits, 4 million hits, and I see how much money I'm going to get 2 months from now, and I'm sitting there still poor, still with no money. I still can't afford food. It was ridiculous. But out of all of these companies and sponsorships and things that were coming in, there was this one company in San Francisco, and they said, "Hey, we want to meet you." And I said, "Well, hey, YouTube Live is at the end of this month, right? Do you want to fly me down and I can go to YouTube Live?" And they're like, "Yeah, sure." So they flew me down, and I met them, and I had all these meetings in San Francisco. And then I go to YouTube Live, and I see all these YouTubers, and they welcomed me back with open arms. It was unbelievable. And I see all these guys again, and I see Charles, and I see Shay, and I see Dave, and I meet all kinds of people I hadn't met before, and it was unreal. It was nuts. And there was a moment in the hotel lobby, and all the YouTubers are there, and a bunch of YouTube employees are there, where this man comes up to me, and I don't know who he is, and he introduces himself, and he says, "Hi, my name's David." And I was like, "Hi, David, I'm Corey, nice to meet you." He says, "I work at YouTube. I was the person who featured your video." And I remember standing there in the hotel lobby looking at him, and I started crying. And I said to him, "You saved my life. You didn't just change my life. You actually saved it." And he was kind of like taken off guard. He was like, "Whoa, are you okay?" And I can be emotional. I know. I'm sorry, but he saved my life. YouTube saved my life when I had nothing and I had been struggling for half a year. And I said to him, "Don't ever feature me again, because there are so many other people who need to be featured. There are so many other people who deserve it. Thank you. I will do what I can with this. And just keep doing what you're doing, because YouTube is the most amazing thing to ever happen to me, ever." And it was quite the moment. It was pretty intense. And YouTube Live was amazing. I fly home. My birthday is in December. My birthday is December 7th. And on my birthday, I'm checking comments. I'm checking my comments on YouTube, and I'm looking at the Star Wars acapella video. And there's all kinds of comments from people saying, "Congratulations on your nomination. Congratulations on being nominated. Congrats, I saw you on TV." I'm like, "What are these people talking about?" So I send them a message, and a bunch of people email me back, and they're like, "Oh, didn't you hear? You were nominated for a People's Choice Award." I was like, "What?" So I go to the website, and on December 7th, on my birthday, the People's Choice Awards nominated me for favorite internet something, favorite internet video of the year. I don't remember the exact title of the thing, but I get an email from CBS, and then I get a phone call, and they're like, "Congratulations, you're nominated. Do you want to attend the award show? Do you want to come on the red carpet?" I was like, yeah, I do. This is nuts. And for a month there was like voting, and it was crazy. And then my mom ends up calling me and saying, "Hey, we haven't talked in a long time. If we don't talk now, we might never talk again. Do you want to come home for Christmas?" And I was like, yes. So I go home, and my parents are like, "What have you been up to?" And I was like, "Well, you're not going to believe this." And they didn't even know until I told. It was nuts. It was a miracle. And this video is super long. If you stuck with me to this point, congrats to you. But I didn't win the People's Choice Awards. I got second place in votes. I lost to Barack Obama. So he's an alright guy to lose to. I was kind of cool with that. The event was awesome. And then 2009, up until now, we're halfway through 2010. I live off of YouTube. I live off of making these videos, dealing with companies, dealing with sponsors and advertisers, doing stuff, performing, traveling. That is my YouTube story. And I wouldn't trade it for anybody else's story. I wouldn't trade it for any other job. And sometimes you have to go through the crap to learn a lot about yourself. And I learned a lot about myself pretty quickly. And I think time will tell me that that was the part of my life where hopefully I went from being a boy to being a man. And YouTube was involved every step of the way. YouTube saved my life. And I am forever grateful. Thank you for watching this, and I hope you will enjoy my future videos. I love you guys. Even the haters, I actually love you. Because if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have anybody watching my videos, and none of this would be possible. Thank you so much. Bye.